Nice shot. Lock and load.
Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Woo, damn! That was one of the best nickel fights I've been to.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to LOOT.BET CS Season 7, where we're into our final round of the Swiss stage, actually. Round 5 will be today, and it will have plenty of hard action here. I'm the Eternal J. I'm joined by Dwayne for this one. My man, let's talk about let's talk about these two teams, PACT versus Fate, our first of the best of threes for today. This one is interesting, I think. PACT obviously coming in from the lower portion, the higher portion of the bracket, and Fate on yesterday's victory against Skade coming in from the lower portion of the Swiss system. So both teams from very opposite ends of the field today, and both teams fighting for their spot in the playoffs tonight.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, this is obviously the round 5 game, so it's pretty much do or die for either of these teams. Now, look, going into this, obviously we were able to cast the game for Fate against Skade only yesterday or the day before. So, look, they looked really good. They looked very impressive. They were able to get the 2-0 in the Bulgarian derby. And look, going into this, I've certainly got Fate as being the favourites in this matchup. Like, yes, PACT have been able to show some pretty decent results, but I'm having a look at the veto of obviously Vertigo being the first map pick of PACT, then Dust 2 as a second. As if we do go to a third, it will be Inferno. I've actually seen some very good things from Fate on this map.
Yeah, and for them, obviously, they've they just had their victory against the Skade side yesterday when they looked particularly good on some of their maps as well. Obviously, Overpass was the map that they played alongside Inferno. Inferno will be the final map of the series today. But PACT picking Vertigo is certainly one that I wasn't expected to come out of the field. I mean, I don't remember either team being particularly proficient on this opening map here.
Yeah, look, it's not exactly a strong map for both sides. Like, I've certainly seen some good results coming out on Fate for this map, but it's not like a map that both of these teams have got the best of results on. So it was a little bit of a surprise to kind of get a map like Vertigo swinging in, but maybe PACT might just have something up their sleeve, Jay.
Well, we're going to have to take things on the T side half. The pistol round going to get started out here. Fast aggression coming in from PACT. They do overwhelm Blocker for the first kill. Darko does fall to Patrick in trade. Nicky back line gets a good shot on towards Slowball next up. So 4 versus 3. The bomb plant can be secured here. And the CT is quickly in position for the retake. They haven't got a kill. They may have been blocked a little bit, dropped a little bit early on from Blocker, I should say. USP is desperately facing it to look for the kill. Nicky will find 1 and 2 more for Goofy. And Lunatic falling down to Mar as the final frag of the round. So fast hit from PACT going awry as Fate take the first on the CT side.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's incredibly quick coming out from PACT, and now we might just see the force by investment coming from them. What they decide to do on the pistol is just extremely quick pace up towards that B bomb site. But the thing is, Jay, they don't find the entries. That's the unfortunate thing. They get the bomb down, but Fate, they play incredibly passive. They're not trying to charge in to deny that bomb by any chance. They're making sure they're in the right positions to retake, and, well, the shots were just landed. Now for PACT, they do have the money line to go for the force buy investment, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it. So just upgrading a couple of pistols here and there, meaning the fact that they'll be able to get the rifles up in round number 3. Now for Fate, try and get those MP9s, or at least the single MP9 of Blocker. See if you can get him to do some damage.
That's Patrick taking first contact out to the B stairs. Shots will not be connecting early on for this one. It's just a burst in to try to do some damage. Goofy to 31 HP in the early part. PACT, of course, going for the eco. Upgraded pistols, as you mentioned, but not really anything significant because they're just going to be looking for the rifles in the next round here. They can get them out around early, so any damage they can do against Fate will just be fantastic for now, though we should be looking at a simple second.
And what is interesting is actually, like, the Polish scene, a lot of the time are pretty proficient on this map, or at least play it a fair bit. I mean, you go back a little bit further and remember both, like, teams like RC and AGO playing this map a lot, even throwing Illumina. So it certainly seems like a map in the scene that's played a lot from the Polish side. Now, starting things off, some pretty even trades coming through as the ramp control is gained, but you should think they're not going to be able to find any more. Blocker goes down. How is this now turning apart?
3 on 2. Bomb, of course, out in the open. The flashbang's coming over, just about connecting to Nicky here. He had no idea that was coming in for him. The burst in from the M4 now. The T side, Nicky knows that he's there. This M4A1S trying to face in, take the man down over at the sandbags area. The Molotov's in. He's going to get back up here as well because they are committing towards this A bomb site. Good kill for the first. Nade time correctly could land and does take down Sobel. And therefore, we should be seeing a recovery. 10 seconds to the clock. The CT pushing in. They will be able to get the final player down. But 3 casualties sustained by the CT forces. That certainly is not what they wanted to see.
Yeah, look, considering the fact it wasn't even a force buy, that's a pretty excellent round coming out from PACT. And for Fate, maybe a little bit of an overextension there in the 3-on-3. We saw Blocker being very aggressive with that MP9, but Nicky and Patrick just chiming together to try and get that retake on. But now, here comes the rifles all across the board for the PACT side. And considering how many players went down, it means Blocker's going to have to reinvest on that MP9.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be very economically damaging if PACT can be able to win this round. I mean, already you can see the effects of it with that SMG, but...
Ooh, nice nade.
Nade's up doing some damage on both the T and CT sides. More than the T side. That's not going to stop him from pushing forward. Beniz will pay for his aggression, though. Mar taken it down by Lunatic next up. They shot through the box and arch for the smoke as well. Patrick's also pushed up aggressive here towards that B bomb site, ready for the T side presence, but PACT are going to back off from the initial defaults and try and figure out a different way into the bomb sites.
This is really good information play at the moment from Fate. They tried the early ramp commitment, they get a 1-for-1 trade, and now they've pushed a very aggressive player around that B stairs area of Patrick, and they can rotate the second player off of B to try and help the A defenders out through mid or out towards the site. So at the moment, Fate, they've got a lot of information, and this could actually allow a flank to come in from Patrick once the execution comes out and the pressure out from ramp.
Utility on, smokes down again to try and suppress this PACT camp from making their entries in towards the A site. They've still got the A default in. Now all their forces are out here ready to receive them. Ready to go for execution if necessary, but 30 seconds, they have to make a decision. Do they rotate now? Do they try to go back for the B presence? They've only got 1 player on that B side to deal with. It is Patrick who's aggressive in the linchpin position. Molotov's coming in, going to try and force the CTs off position. Now they're going to have to make their way away from that Molotov area. Flashbang directly in towards Blocker's face. He will push up over to the corner, look for the bomb planter, drop it for the 1 kill. Slow will trade it back. Got 1 player on site, 1 player to backline to deal with. Bomb plant will be secured just in the nick of time. As Darko goes falling next, it'll be a 3 versus 2 in favor of Fate.
This is a good position because they've got that flank attempt to come through. Han going to be able to follow up, and it's all down to Lunatic, and well, he can't find anything. The backstab coming through. Now for Pat, they just took too much time, Jay. They needed to be quicker on that execution. We saw the information came through for the Fate side. They had 3 players stacked up on A, and PACT, it was too slow. It allowed the flank attempt to come in from Patrick, and they were able to deny so much time on the T's pushing forward. Even Blocker does a great job with a flashbang out from his teammate to try and see if he can hold the alley players. And a 3-0 start from Fate, looking pretty comfortable at the moment on the CT side.
Yeah, this is looking really nice. I mean, it feels like PACT are struggling due to the fact of the confidence here from Fate. You know, I mean, even then they've been able to pick up 3 AKs for all their trouble, so plenty of firepower going their way. Bomb plants have been secured by PACT, so they're making these rounds relatively close, but not close enough to really push them down on the issue here. M4 Blocker gets boosted up initially towards his mid position. The T side forces potentially to make their way in against him. Lunatic and Darko will be the players up here, and the M4 spray takes out that first kill. And on the player out here, tag down Maniz, tries to see if they can take him out. Good nade on his position, could be the end of him. Coming up to timing. Will they put it on? No, they won't. They'll opt to just back off and play passive. But a 4 versus 5, they've gained a man advantage.
They certainly have, and well, certainly mid at the moment on Vertigo. It seems like for the City side that you can't really aggress too much because you don't really have a lot of cover at the moment. So you don't normally see too much aggression coming out, and it works out perfectly that round coming out from Fate. They've done so much damage to the T side. Maniz is incredibly low. And PACT, well, they need to try and fight back in this man disadvantage. And, well, really, no one's in a position to try and find an opening kill. They are grouped up at the B bomb site. They're going to see if they can at least boost a player up.
Goofy looking on. Blocker has no idea he's facing And that headshot will connect Patrick here back towards Old Quad. Will take down one good kill, taking a lot of damage for his trouble though. Maniz will get dealt with by Hahn next up. Darko going to spray through, does take that man down. The bomb's out in the open though. Hahn has all the info he needs. And with 25 seconds on the clock, Pact have to commit to this. Run boost coming in, the AWP can't quite hit it. The AK however takes out his backup, and Sobel is left alone in a 1-on-3 scenario. Going to try hunt the back line, but will only do HP damage. 1 HP left for Mar in particular. And that will be a 4-0 start for Fate, looking real confident on CT side. And Pact on the contrary, like they're looking so panicked. They're feeling like they just can't really get anything done on these defaults and can't get the executions together confidently.
Well, it comes down to Fate being quite aggressive on the City side. Rather than playing really deep and passive into the sides, they're actually trying to force the opening man advantage. Now, we have at least seen a few rounds so far that the opening kill's gone the way of Fate and it's been traded back. But in that last round, they established the mid control. They do a hell of a lot of damage. They have that 5-on-4. And, well, yeah, Pact really struggling at the moment. We saw a great boost up from Goofy to be able to take down one of the B anchors, and well, they don't even expect a second player to be on the site. The rotations from Fate coming so quickly to that B bomb site to try and defend. And well, with no bomb plan in that last round, you can't even think about going for a force buy investment.
Yeah, money is just going to get wrecked. Probably just going to have to be a half buy at best, I feel like, for Pact. I don't think anything massive should come of this round, as you mentioned. Small pause to decide whether that should be the case. Tactical in nature will be over now. Just upgraded pistols with Kevlar at worst. Goofy's gone quite heavy on the investment. $1,600 left for him, but I guess $1,500 is still just the minimum limit, so... For him and Lunatic and Sobel to a lesser extent, it's still going to be within that sort of margin of error. And the rifles out for the Fate camp. The AWP in. 2 AKs that were still saved on Blocker and Mar. Patrick taking a bit of knife damage early on, which is never ever any good, but Packed out to the A defaults and the B site contact coming in. Patrick's again going to start pushing aggressive and try and see if he can isolate this 1 kill over on the on that B play. Comes up with the timing whether or not that kill works out for him.
And tell you what, look at the aggression again. We've seen Patrick very far pressed up towards that B stairs area. And look, he's found a lot of success, at least in information and being able to push forward into a flank or realize the fact that there's no presence of the speed bomb side. And that's actually allowed a 3-man stack at A while they sort of have like a mid player. So for Pact, they need to just group up together. That's got to be the key element in this round. Group up together, try and see if you can isolate a couple of kills, maybe get a bomb plant. And it looks like they're going to try and head to this A bomb site.
Darko and Goofy set up alongside Lunatic. We need to go ahead and join them in the end. Here they go, out the gates into the ramp position. Mars set up behind sandbags already, so he's got plenty of info, plenty of breathing room, and the key position that could potentially shut down the whole execution here. They've used quite a fair amount of utility. Still got a little bit left for this execution here for Pact, so if they can get a bomb plant, they get that much at least, but that's Mars' main job. Deny that bomb plant from coming through. The rest of Fate there for the main defensive will ensure that everything else gets cleaned up. Time is a ticking. Nades on by the CTs. Peek in from Mark. Catches 1 and 2. Just way towards 3. Tries to transfer towards the 4th, but Blocker coming in towards Alleyway will take that final frag away. So no ace for Mar, but he did enough of a damage there with those 4 kills coming in from the default opening frag and the follow-up 3 coming into the ramp area.
Now, I mean, one thing you can kind of take into in consideration is, well, we've only really seen 2 gun rounds, but you got to think about the momentum and the confidence basis now for Fate. They're up 5-0. They're getting a very good start on CT on their opponent's map pick. And Pact, they've got to be thinking, right, we need to strike now. We need to get a round on the board. We need to change something up to get back into this game because Fate, they're having the time of their lives. They are aggressing everywhere on the map at the moment. We're seeing so much aggression out towards the B stairs. And look at this from Nikki. I'm trying to see if he can establish a crossfire with Patrick.
Oh, what a shot, Goofy!
Nice.
Through the wood wall onto Patrick. And barely even getting any information out of it. I think he got a nail. I don't know if he saw him above the edge of the smoke. We couldn't see it on the X-ray. I mean, certainly my eyes didn't see it. That's a fantastic opener. And again, a big start for Pact. Still got a minute to go to make the execution happen and win the round outright. But isolating that aggression and taking it out of field first is a good step towards that goal.
And, well, they're not really sure what's going on here. Unfortunately, with the man disadvantage, they don't really have a lot of info at the moment. Now, they have actually brought 3 players over to the A bombs. That's the right read here coming out from Fate, because PACT, well, they're grouped up at ramp at the moment. Are they backing off?
I think they might be.
Oh,
CT on back.
push aggressively. B's open.
Yeah, the man getting taken down, getting a bit too aggressive for the CTs. A 5-on-3 situation, and now the AWP of Han's going to rotate into position. Trust if he can deny anything outside of the B cross. Flashbang in, does not connect. Good shot can be landed by the AWP. More flashes coming in, but the T's can't quite act off the back of it. A good tap in, but Sobel's going to take him down. 2 players left for the CT camp. Blocker gets lined up. Sobel does not see the second player behind him as CT spawn. I think Mar's going to save the AK at this stage, as PACT have been able to work with that opening pick and turn it back to their favor, turn it around to their favor as well. As there you go, Fate finally forced to save and finally going to concede a round back to the T side.
I don't know if I like that from PACT. Like, they were successful on that, on trying to rotate over to the B bomb side, but if Nicky didn't push that far aggressively, if he would have played maybe towards the stairs or something and try to hide, then all that information came through. Even if he finds a kill or 2 and drops that bomb, it makes it so awkward because, well, yes, that B bomb site was open and Harm was able to rotate in pretty quickly with that AWP, but for PACT, they had absolutely no information at that B bomb site. It was the right read, but I don't know. It just feels like too much of a gamble for me.
2 big frags from Goofy, of course, opening up that round for them. And I mean, in fairness to Fate, like, you know, that kind of setup worked out well for them in the past few rounds. The problem was that they didn't face any major aggression until finally that kill came in from Goofy. So I kind of understand why they want to stick with it, but, you know, it's a bit weird with the man disadvantage, obviously throwing off the balance of the map control. Once again, PACT is going to start pushing aggressive. He's ready for the boost ups. Trying himself back behind the sandbags area for a bit of cover. Mani's taking nade damage into the ramp area. He goes down towards that first kill when Patrick, oh, he's been seen. He has not been seen. Darko, no idea, burst through, that's 1 and 2, not quite 3, but he's done enough at this point. It's a 4 versus 2. Fate have gained everything out of that play.
Come on, PACT. You got to be checking that, like, guys. Like, you've seen how many times they've pushed aggressively towards the B stairs. You've got to be thinking there's got to be someone here. They've done it pretty much every single round. And, well, Lunatics trying to bring it back into now a 1 versus 3, and all these footsteps are going to be heard from Harm with that AWP. And PACT, this is not the response they were looking for after finding their first round.
No, absolutely not. This is disastrous. Absolutely disastrous for this T-side camp. And Lunatics just have to lick his wounds. On for an ace clutch if he can find the 1 versus 3, but something tells me that's not going to happen. Marcel up towards this corner, we'll spray him down. Drop that bomb, 6-1 to the board of Fate. What a start from this CT side.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just 1 hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.
And the thing here, right, is that, like, PACT have struggled consistently over and over again. Like, you know, some of these, you know, and on the T side of Vertigo is where that has to be very, very concerning, right?
Yep.
Like, you know, they've constantly had bad reads against Fate. They've constantly lost out the man advantages, and yeah, they did get that opening pick in the round that they won, but just, you know, and they you know, were able to punish some aggression from that CT side, but that was all given to them rather than them forcing the issue on Fate. So I'm not sure what PACT's game plan is on this T side, but whatever it is, it's just not working right now.
Well, the thing is, they're not utilizing mid at all. I mean, we saw the one time they went towards mid was when we saw aggression coming out from Fate, and Blocker found that opening 5-on-4, and they did damage. Other than that, mid has not been used at all from PACT. And the one thing that Fate are doing a really good job at the moment is getting very aggressive and getting a lot of information. We're seeing pretty often they're having 3-man stacks at this A bomb site, and PACT are walking straight into it, or it's the aggression over towards B stairs that are finding opening picks. So for PACT, They need to try and be able to split the defense. They need to be able to get Fate not knowing what's going on. And it comes down to trying to get a little bit of mid control, playing a little bit slower, seeing if you can find an opening pick. They've really struggled. I mean, you even looked at that nade damage that Fate were able to do out towards ramp in the last round. The PACT have just not been able to find these opening kills, and that's what they need at this point.
Rifles back out for PACT. A rebuy coming in, as you imagine. They do find that opening pick again towards B side. So Patrick finally getting punished for a little bit of his aggression. That first pick followed up by a second this time from PACT. So 5-on-3 once again, looking relatively similar to the way things went down in the round that they won. Again, aggression from the CTs being given up for picks back for the PACT camp. A lot more to be done here.
What a great start. Just some individual duels going their way. We see Patrick getting denied from sort of some early aggression again towards the B stairs. Now, Fate are starting to push out through mid, so they're going to get some info, but the problem is it's already the walk for the T's out towards this B bomb site.
So we're getting a kill with the Galil next up. Han going to be falling, and Nikki and Ma are in very different positions of this map. It looks like a backstab coming in a little bit too late here. Nikki will get one kill at least for his trouble. The AWP, and he's ready to respond to it in kind. And that's easy as that, leaving Ma left alone. And that's more like with the rounds we need to see from PACT. Again, most of it came down to punishing over-aggression from the CTs, though. If they start going passive, then PACT are going to lose the main crutch that they're standing on.
No, you're right. I mean, if PACT are able to win a couple of rounds where they are forcing Fate to lose their life to aggression, then Fate might kind of turn around and go, okay, like let's go back to playing passive. Let's go back to playing deep in the sights. And that's what PACT really want. You hate to play against a team that's really aggressive, especially on a map like Vertigo. And, well, this is certainly the style of play that we can expect from Fate. Finally, a second round up for the polls, but you got to think, especially on the T side of Vertigo, they've got to be looking at least 8-9 rounds.
Well, tactical follow-up here from the Fate camp, and I'd imagine this to be a Fate pause because, I mean, sometimes sometimes you might be on the front foot, but at the same time you're also losing a little bit of control, and you might think, hey, we might even want to stop this for a moment and figure out a new way of approaching this this half because, well, I mean, we are doing well, but there's also a very, very big chance that PACT could turn us around and just absolutely dominate us from here on out, and then, you know, making some mistakes to give up those opportunities. So now's the time to change up the game plan, if anything, here from Fate before it gets a little bit too far out of hand. They have a buy coming up here, so we should be seeing the M-Force coming out, the AWP for Han as well. Lack of head Kevlar, but that should be fine against most of the players of their T-side. Sobel will give him a little bit of trouble. Limited utility sets, and that's going to be the main issue, I think, for the Fate side.
At least they've got that AWP out. That's the big thing. Obviously, Han's been doing a very good job so far, utilizing the AWP around the map. He's been bringing it over towards the B defensive. He's been bringing it over to try and help the A players take ramp control. There's certainly moving around his position, which always makes it difficult for a T side of trying to figure out where the AWP is, especially if you're very proactive. You know, you're moving around the map, you're looking for different information, you're looking for picks. It makes it really difficult for PACT to go, right, you know, the AWP is continuously at A, let's do this to try and force him off the angle, blah, blah, blah. So for PACT, we're trying to work off some information at this point, and, well, at least for Fate, they're going for this aggressive ramp setup once again.
A fast playing from PACT. Look out to the construction area. They're going to back off for it. Fate are going very passive in this position. Was the mid control instead. Nikki with the MP5 is very susceptible to going falling here, so the AWP will try and find any trades into that mid position. The A side's been left basically completely open from here though. Like, they are very far out. A boost can come through the AWP. Manish checks it and takes out Blocker to start things off. Ma is still there though, and he's known. Molotov's coming in, won't be able to force him off angle. They will go back behind the bomb site though.
That's such a difficult shot to be hit from Maniz, and well, that gives him the information at least. And it gives him the opening man advantage. Goofy, we've seen how many entries he's been able to find around this B stairs low. But this is going to be a commitment. No, it's going to be a fake. They're actually using a lot of utility to A, but they're going to try and bring this bomb over the B bomb side. And well, Patrick, he's already rotating out of B.
Yeah, he is gone. Nicky will take out Maniz, which will just basically give up the ghost a little bit more. He's going to hear those footsteps in from the stairs area, though. The Molotovs coming in. Sobel's going to quickly make their way up. He will play passive, try and take out Goofy, but Goofy gets him and Mar. So now Han and Nicky, last two players left, have got to go and save their weapons, because Pact have done it again for a third on the board for this T side. Might isolate the AWP, and indeed Darko actually gets Nicky instead, so Han's going to remain back here towards this CT spawn, keeping his eyes on. Shoulder baits. One kill will come out, but how much more can you find?
It really shouldn't be too much more, especially when the flank's coming out from CT. And, well, for Fate, a little bit unfortunate there. We saw Nicky obviously picking up that AWP from Maniz, so they could have potentially brought a double AWP set up into the next round. This shot, though, coming out from Maniz, very, very difficult angle to be able to connect on. And Pact, it seems like we're finally just starting to see some confidence coming through for their T side.
Took quite the fair amount of time. But now Fate forced onto the back foot here in this eco round. We've got upgrade for Patrick, a flashbang for Nicky. USPs across the board, and the nades already doing a ton of damage to those players out towards ramp. The follow-up nade should also follow suit and do even more. Third nade coming in. That's going to take out Mar at least, and everybody else should get cleaned up with a rifle. So just left to the USP of Han, the bomb out there in the 5 versus 2. And yeah, going about as well as you would expect.
Making sure that obviously no one goes down on the PACT side, especially the fact of, well, PACT are just on very, very basic USPs. Nicky may be able to find something on the flank, but Goofy is holding the angle. And it is going to be a 4th round going the way of PACT. Now closing at the distance. Only 2 rounds of a deficit for the Poles. And even the buy, I mean, they're going to struggle to get that AWP out. It'd be glass cannon for Nicky, but considering he never really AWPs, then it's probably just going to be M4s for everyone.
No AWP on this rebuy here for the fake camp, and the nades up against Nicky. Was that a stack? I believe it might have been towards that ramp position. A big opening to find as well. Like, you know, just in the first few seconds of the round, PACT are going to gain the man advantage and take barely any damage for it. Fate are forced to go passive.
That's very big. That's a huge opening kill coming out for PACT. And you're right. I mean, Fate are in a position now where they're in a 4-on-5. They need to try and bring this back, but they are forced quite passively on the A-bomb site. There is a big flank coming in, though, from Blocker. He's already pushed out through mid. So, again, Fate are getting a lot of information, but how can they try and hold in the disadvantage?
Both about passive for the interim here. The flashbangs will try and force the CTs away from the A-bomb site. Will force them to get a bit more aggressive around the corner here. One player in particular starting to face towards Ali. Maniz looking to try to challenge him with that AWP here to support the actual hit coming in from PACT, which looks like it has decided itself to go to the A-bomb site. Orp in towards sandbags now. Flashes in. T's going to make their way out. Sprays through. Seeing one above the smoke. Mar's going to get taken out next as Blocker gets shot down over to the ramp entrance. So Han and Patrick left alone. A 5-on-2 scenario against their favor. And PACT turning up the heat in the last few rounds.
Okay, this is good. That was even one of the first times that we saw Fate setting themselves up for like a retake A setup. And we'll really just losing so many players. The flank attempt coming in from Blocker finds absolutely nothing. Now, Fate should be able to hold on to 2 rifles here for both Patrick and Han. But you're right, turning up the heat. PACT are really starting to bring this back, clawing their way back into this first half. And, well, it was really necessary. I mean, you even look at the economy basis and, well, they should at least be on to be able to have a rifle round for pretty much all of the rounds continuing in this first half. Maniz is certainly hitting some great AWP shots at the moment.
Well, one from evens here for the Pact camp, and a half buy for Fate to try and stop that with the 2 M4s being saved. It could be an opportunity. But I'm imagining with the way things are going to go down, it's probably going to end up being a 6th for that T camp. It's just Sobel tagged up to 21 HP, a decent start from the pistols. Patrick down to 54. Maron with the deagle out towards Ali, hoping for some good pick back here, but the T's, having taken that early bit of damage, will opt to fall back a little bit.
They're just waiting for aggression. They know how many times that Fate have overextended on the city side, and well, that's really what Goofy's doing around this B lurk. But a lot of utilities coming up to the A bombs. Like, this is going to be a gamble stack from Fate, and considering they've got 2 rifles, they've only got 1 of this A bombs. Like, this can still be very deadly.
Deagle, shot on, doing damage to Maniz next up. It's Sobel and him tagged up. Han's going to take a bit more back in return with the M4 in the backline. CZ and Deagle does combine. Good kill from Blocker, and a second. Not quite his 3rd, but still seeing that bomb. He knows exactly where Darko is. 4 versus 3. T still trying to press around the corner. Still with his Deagle to deal with. He's facing away, knowing where the AWP is. Lands his 3rd kill. Not quite his 4th frag, but the Deagle's doing most of the damage here. 3 picks, all found by him. Darko on 3 HP. Both players pushed up aggressive towards that ramp. They're going to make their way in. Mars going to go falling. Blocker has found his way out towards the alleyway entrance. Is now moving in for a backstab. 17 seconds to the clock. Darko has no idea this is coming in. That's a 4th kill. And now the final will be taken by Han, as Fate on their half buy will secure the 7th just by the skin of their teeth.
And you got to be thinking there, look, where's the util? Where is the utility at all? Yes, they set themselves up for a little bit of utility to that A bomb site, but they still had a fair bit to work with. And Blocker, all he did there was just pick 1 by 1 by 1. I mean, he could take a bow. That was a great hold. And you got to think for Pact, you got to make a decision there. You could either fall back off a ramp, or you all wide swing together and aggress. They were kind of in the middle, Jay. They were peeking a little bit. They weren't wide swinging. They weren't falling back. It was a bit of a hesitation play.
Yeah, I think hesitation is certainly the right way to describe it, but it did work out for them. That opening kill will not be the same. Goofy and take the opener. Nicky's awkward spray does not quite take him down. Nades on towards the stairs area. Will do a ton of damage, set up a number of great trades. He's going to need a lot more support here from his teammates, and there are players on site. All 4 wrapping around towards this A defensive, putting all the utility out, and Pact off the back of that are going to have to fall back and try playing their play towards A. I mean, if they go over there right now, they're going to get a free bomb plant.
I'm really surprised at this over-rotation coming out from Fate. Pretty much everyone rotates over to B. They've only got a single A defender. That's going to be Han. Now they might get a little bit of information. Now, Han doesn't have any utility, so really he can't stop this. And already Sobel, he's pushed up so aggressively on the site. There's no way Fate expect this.
Molotov's in, smokes down. Han keeping his eyes on with the M4. Lunatic's going to get that bomb plant away. Now it's a retake up for Fate. Blind fire through the smoke will get quite a bit of damage, but it's unable to get the kills. The Molotov from Blocker will land us in a 4 versus 4. So will make his way in from the alleyway cross. Smoke down from alley itself. Spray in against the headshot of Nicky. 1 frag found back to the advantage of the T side. The backstab from Mar though. Nades on Darko's going to get one other good kill. It will be Darko to fall next up. And Mar traded, leaving it all to Han. 1 versus 2, gets that first kill, onto the bomb, sticking a hold of Fuse, sticking a hold of Fuse. He's got a peek now, Orb can't land it, shots, and Han's going to get away with it. Pact conceding the site, conceding the defuse, and conceding the round.
Man, that's really smartly played from Han. And look, that's a bit of a gamble. It's a 1 versus 1. He knows where the AWP is, but he just tries to go for the bomb defuse. And look, especially when you've got an AWP out, it's really difficult. Like, it's so much easier to try and spam the smoke out with a rifle than an AWP. But, I mean, Fate, what a retake coming out. Look at the damage. I mean, the spam damage they did for those rifles was insane. There were so many players from PACT that were just incredibly low. And we're going into round number 14. Fate, they've already won the half.
2 more to get 10-5 on the board. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Oh, Patrick. I think a T-side player snuck in right beside him. Look at Goofy's position there on the
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, on the X-ray. It all comes up to timing, really. Hit the wall, make his way in from the main area. And he's not checking the right way. That's going to be a kill. That opens things up.
That's really unfortunate. I mean, Goofy, you could see how many angles he was checking, but just not the one where Patrick was. Amar, the overextension coming out from Ali, but it's going to be the orb to at least trade it back into a 4-on-4.
Takes a lot of damage for it, though. With Solo being on 61 HP, this could still be workable for the CT forces. He can't push through this Molotov, but he's got to wait for it to burn up before he can go ahead and take a peek in. No one's checking his alley position, though, and he'll take blocker down for his trouble. A 4 versus 3. Again, so much HP taken away from the T side, so these trades are very, very doable. With Patrick coming in for the backstab as well, he's going to try to see if he can find another angle to work with. They've done this before. They look to do it again, but slow progression in from PACT will start to take control of the A bomb site. The CD need to hold on. Nicky will not be able to do so. Wraparounds in, 2 players up, orb to full. Sobel next up on 3 HP, facing away from Patrick. The flashbang should allow him a chance to make his way towards Ali. Turner's back towards Sobel, though, leaving Hahn alone in a 1 versus 3. Bomb plant to be secured. Flash on site, headshot found for 1 good kill. Needs 2 more. Darko is there also on site. Looking for the spray, looking for the frag. He'll get it. It'll be 6 on the board for PACT.
Unfortunately, Fate, they've just got no money, so really this last round investment is going to be a tough one. Amar was certainly doing a very good job for his team. Already 13 kills, getting close to around that 180 up, 1.63 KD. And I tell you what, for Fate, they can be extremely happy with this first half. They've done a very, very good job. It is certainly going to be difficult to be able to get a 9-6, but considering how many rounds PACT are going to be able to get, 7 at most on the T side, that's a great job.
And last round of the half for a forced investment for Fate as well, so losing that one's going to wreck the economy a little bit. But as you mentioned, 8-7 is still a very good half, all things considered. Certainly better for Fate, in my opinion, though. Again, this map being T-sided, with both teams having a better T-side win percentage. Maybe the chance for Fate, obviously, to get themselves a head start in the real sort of part of the matchup. With 60 seconds to the hit, and PACT making their way in towards the B bomb site. Patrick is going to be playing passively this time, back up towards quad. Backstab coming in from Nicky, though. Check out his position on the map. Yeah. He's made his way through mid. Molotov's going down, smokes up to try and protect Patrick's position. The spray through will be able to drop him, so a little bit too late on this backstab. The CZ will get 1 kill, though.
But there's 2 players here. I don't know if they would have heard the footsteps. They're trying to recover that AK, and finally, a blocker's going to be able to pick it up. So it is going to be a 4-on-4 retake. Knees with the AWP. Could get overwhelmed, but at least Darko's going to try and help him out. Nicky with the CZ, just trying to tap away, but he's running out of bullets, Jay. And you'd have to think that this retake is not going to be successful. And Han trying to do his best impression at the moment. 1 versus 3 with the AWP. Now making a 1 versus 2. How much more can he find? Because he's still got a lot of time to work with. Both these players on the T side coming in from the same angle, working behind this smoke. And Han, it looks like he wants to slowly aggress, see if he can round this corner. And PACT, though, they're going to be able to secure their 7th. And I tell you what, a very close half between both of these sides.
No, it really was, like, down to the wire at the end of it. For a bit, though, it looked like that Fate were going to be able to run away with the CT side. I mean, that wasn't to be the case in the end, but still, confident stuff for those first 5 rounds, even a 6-1. Like, that was at the point where it was like, look, right, PACT needs to change up how they're going to play this, and they did, you know. They very quickly was able to, turn things back. And again, for their T side, it's a good recovery, but they need to do a little bit more. They need to do a little bit more, I think, in terms of finding a way onto the City's half. I think they needed. I think they needed a bit of a better half. And Fate again with a major advantage going into their T side. The pistol round might mean quite a lot to them, especially if they can take it. Again, they're a T-sided map, T-sided team. Utility out for Patrick and Nikki for the defaults and setups. Defuse in for Lunatic with a smoke out. Everybody having default pistols and Kevlar across everybody else.
Oh, fair bit of utility up for Fate. So this could just be like a set piece of the A bombs, like get those cross smokes down, try and at least establish a post plant for the retake of PACT. And the odds, considering how close the scoreline is, and even being a PACT's map pick, are still in favor of the Bulgarian side. And for PACT, quite a heavy stack over at the B bomb site. I'm not sure if this is a bit of a gamble or they think they've got a read on the situation, but really there's only one player to A, and that's Maniz.
I mean, the only player that's given up any info is Maniz. Oh, sorry, the only player that's found info, I should say, is Maniz. Seeing that one player jumping out towards the ramp position, so... Don't know, with the lack of presence here, just that one player that's jump faces and continues to look for the kill is going to be enough for the C2 to be like, right, okay, well, Maniz, as soon as you see anything, call in the rotation, but for now we're just going to wait back towards that B site. Yeah, they've jump face, given up some info, taken a bit of map control. All 5 will stack their way in, so Maniz is going to be left alone here to defend against everything. We'll have to call for that backup relatively soon, as soon as he sees the oncoming onslaught of the T-side forces, now is the time to call it in. Backup has arrived in Sobel. More is on the way. Now he's up to clear out the sandbags, and there's still a little bit of utility left for the execution. Smokes down, should secure a bomb plant from here. It's after the fact that we have to go from.
And it's just going to be the retake setup coming out from PACT. Maybe see if they can get a couple of kills through the smokes. But so far, doing a pretty good job on the T side. Lots of kills coming through for both Han and Goofy. And with the CTs, rather than aggressing through the smokes, they're going to play and retake behind them.
Yeah, 4 versus 3. Favor to the Fate camp as they jump face forward and take the pre-final angles towards the backside and towards the corner and towards the cross as well. Again, man advantage for the Fate camp block up. His Glock on trying to play anti-flash. Smoke goes down to try and block off that bomb plant position. I think it may have got caught up on the boxes, but Goofy and Lunatic still facing in. Blocker is on site here to play Rude Awakening. Will get flicked up on the headshot coming in from Lunatic. Darko finds Harder a 2 versus 2 as Patrick trades Goofy. Nicky's still here. Block up, taking Lunatic down. All left to Darko as the last man standing. He gets it behind him, and Nicky gets a 2K. So Fate will win the pistol, win the night for the T side.
And well, that's 2 for 2 now coming out from Fate on the pistol rounds. And for PACT, they didn't really do a lot wrong, I want to say, there on that retake. Unfortunately, just the kills coming through, the spam of the smoke, it put them in a disadvantage. And well, Nicky was he was pulling such a distraction away, trying to swing out from alley and trying to establish a crossfire with his sandbags teammate. It will be the force buyer coming out from PACT on the city side. So an opportunity to find an instant return.
Force out from PACT. And again, the passive control coming in from both camps. PACT going a little bit aggressive towards mid in the ramp area. But nothing going to be seen by nothing going to be seen by them, and nothing going to be seen by Fate either, because they're playing even more passively than before. Look at them all held out here towards this mid position in the T-spawn area. They've got one player downstairs looking towards the ladder room and over the bridge, but this is now the most aggressive map control they've got. These 2 players on screen right now, like, that's it. Fate being very careful about how they approach this.
I don't mind that, actually. I know Fate are quite an aggressive side on T side, but the fact of the matter is, you know, they're probably expecting a force bar to come through. It's currently 9-7. They win this out, they pretty much go up 11 rounds. It's really important, and they want to just make sure there's no cheeky deagles or CZs having any of these hidden angles. 40 seconds left. I mean, one thing, especially being this passive and not giving any info up, PACT have no idea what's going on at the moment.
Nades on again. Glil going to make his way in first. The AK there to follow suit. And Matt 10's there to support and try to take apart the CTs as they come. Nice nade stack, actually works out well against Mar. Takes him down. Doing the damage initially. The bomb plant will be secured by Blocker. Nade's back on site. Lunatic gets himself 1. Sobel follows up with the second ever kill. Patrick and Han, last 2 players now. Han left alone with the AK. Taking out 1 frag. 2 more to find. They're both low HP. He's expecting backstabs. They're going to come in from alleyway though. Tap on the bomb. Darko. Edge of the smoke as Han gets aggressive. It's clear. Sees that man, does not see the player behind him though. And Sobel will close it out. The force buy works for PACT. They're going to take a ride and rack away.
I tell you what, it all really comes off the start. Those HGs onto the bomb planter and take him down, and straight away PACT go, right, we're going to try and aggress here. Oh no. Well, that's a bit disappointing. Wow, that's a really that's a great round. And well, now Fate have to force because well they'll really be on double eco status. Does not make this any easier. Not forcing, actually. So they'll get 1900 in the next round. So I'm guessing that they're hoping for a bomb plant. Like, some players will be able to buy, but it's not going to be the best of investments.
The SMGs could clean up some decent frags on the lack of Kevlar players there for the Fate camp. Of course, the head Kevlar also away from Han. If you place those right, you could be able to take them all out, but they're stacked up towards the B bomb site split, it seems. We've got to get the mid control. And Lunatic will be at least there to try and receive some sort of damage. Goofy off the off angle and cleaning up some decent kills potentially. Just need 2 each, and then the SMGs would have been worth their while. And again, the T's are going to go for this weird boost up that the CT's going to get caught off guard for, but Goofy spotted it, nades on, just trying to do some damage, just trying to keep them away here.
And they need to make sure that they're at least being able to use these HEs proficiently. And, well, they have so far, being able to find the opening kill. They check that boost, and, well, this is looking pretty simple now coming out for the PACT side. This should just be pretty much a clean-up. Not much had come through as well. It's all down to Han. He's the last one left.
Goofy itching for a frag, bomb known, spray through, damage done, kill found, nice and easy there. With Lunatic and Goofy combining there for that kill. And 9-9 on the board, PACT. They may have lost the pistol, but they found the conversion. Now they found an eco. The rifles will come in for Fate. I don't think they've got AWPs on that side. There's an investment from Patrick. No, MP5 for Nicky. So, yeah, just AK-47s out across the board. I mean, the same could also be said for PACT. No AWP for them. SMGs does leave the better buy to the favour of the T side, and a much more fast and aggressive defaults coming in. Look at Darko jumping round the corner. What was that? M4 for Manizel supported. Darko will go down, but that sequence got himself to open up the round for the CT side. The trades are coming in thick and fast from Fate, though. They're back to evens on the standings, and the SMG of Goofy will move in as the bomb site may be taken.
That's so big coming out from Darko. Just absolutely wild. Unfortunately, though, his teammates get traded out, and it is a 2 versus 2. The HE does a lot of damage up to Mar. And to try and go for this retake, they do have 2 kits and a fair bit of utility. They've got 2 smokes, so they can try and isolate some of these Ts and force them into a single ankle.
Match is over. AK's looking on SMG, moving closer as well. Smoke on the bomb. Smoke onto the bomb's cross instead. Spray through. Will try to do his damage on towards Nicky next. Up tap from one player. Sobel connecting the spray through the smoke. And you talk about great aggression and sequences from the CTs on the defaults. How about on the retake? Sobel, a fantastic way to close out the round.
Yeah, that was nice. That was really, really nice coming out from Sobel. And, well, he gets a little bit of luck on that spray transfer, just trying to spam through the smoke. But obviously he knows the angle, knows roughly where he can be. And, well, I tell you what, I'm liking this CT setup at the moment from PACT. It's wild, it's aggressive. I mean, Darko just flying out with that MP9 to start the round off. And PACT, well, they've taken the lead, and they could even extend it further, considering the fact, well, this is a half buy. Nicky has invested an AK. So it is at least a pretty heavy investment from him, and if they don't get a bomb plan, he'll probably just be on a Galil or a MAC-10 in the following round. And this should be another cleanup for PACT.
Nice nade on, a good kill from Lunatic. AK for Nicky's going for the 4 sub. He does find 1 good kill, but Sobel's there quickly back to trade it. So 3 versus 2 scenario. M4's picking apart 1 more. Han left alone. The Deagle could find a couple of decent kills on the headshots, but I'm not holding my breath for anything at this stage. The best he could do is take away this AK from Sobel. Probably secure the bomb as well. But no, Sobel denies it. 2K to his name. 11-9. With AKs coming out for the T's. PACT on a roll. Now it's Fate the ones that need to change up their strategy here, Dweg.
Yeah, Fate, I'd like to see some early aggression from them, maybe out towards the beast there. See if they can try and force an opening exchange, because a lot of the time, PACT have been able to aggress on their own right to find opening kills. Now, they have got their AWP out for Han. Not a great amount of utility on the T side. And PACT just, they keep changing up their defaults, putting 3 players over towards the B bomb site early, then rotating them off. Pretty passive stuff coming out from Fate.
Not aggressive enough to do some damage from Patrick's part. AK Sobel. It's the AWP literally a corner away. Seeing the shadow spray around it. Takes the open up. M4 standing by as well for Lunatic in the backline. Sobel's going to try combine and keep them away. They've lost the AWP here on the T side. Blocker's trying his best to recover, but the further aggressive he gets, the more susceptible to trading. He also gets to be taken out. 60 seconds on the clock here as he faces out in the open. Trying to establish some sort of mid-control, and indeed he will be able to do so, but there's still resistance here in Lunatic. He's going to see his head, take him down. That's a 5 versus 3.
Oh, Fate, everything's falling apart. They could not find anything on the opening out from mid. Both the mid players go down, and we'd have to expect that maybe they don't even check this sandbags position. Darko could shut this whole round down if they don't check it.
Smokes on Darko, watching, seeing one player out position. Patrick seen with a headshot, another kill going the way of the CT side, and barely any damage done to that PACT camp. Good kill from Minis, doubles up for the double kill. Mar and Nikita fall to his hands. And all 5 alive for this CT camp. And I have to say, I wasn't expecting this second half to go as well as it has for the Poles.
No, I'm with you there. I certainly would have thought that Fate would have been able to get some momentum going, especially off the back that they won the pistol round. But, yeah, look, as soon as they got anti-ecoed, as soon as they lost that second conversion, it seems like it's just all falling apart from there. This is now 5 rounds in a row coming out for the PACT side, and will Fate, they need to find an answer, and they need to find one now, because PACT, they're getting closer and closer to round number 16, and oh, look at the utility. The early Molotov, the incendiary grenades are going to take 2 players down. Fate, oh, they're already out of this round.
Oh, look at Sobel as well through the wall, getting lock up. Nikki will find one trade. But this will be 13 to the board of the CT side, and there's not really much that Fate can really do about that. I mean, miracle frags going the way of P250s. I mean, they can get some damage on the board, but I don't think they'll be able to do much in terms of the actual round win. And to focus on the buy coming up in the next round after this, because this one is over. P250 of Han left here trying to get passive-aggressive and try to find some kills. Again, if he can find even 2, that would be pretty okay. They'll still be up for a buy in the next round, but it could be a long con to rate the economy of this PACT side a little bit later on down the road.
No, well, not even going to be the case. 13-9, and, well, the streak continues, Jay. And you'd have to think there's got to be a tactical from Fate, think things over. And honestly, I think they've just been too passive on the T side. We've seen very, very passive T defaults. They've been taking a ramp control incredibly slowly. They've been taking the B stairs control incredibly slowly. Let's just have a round where you just throw a player on an entry. See if you even get the run boost going over towards the B stairs. I just want to see some counter aggression coming out from Fate, even if it's only in the early round to find the opening pick or even to establish that map control.
AKs and AWPs in for both sides, and M4 to back up Goofy here, but the one-shot headshot rifles are out for most players on PACT. Of course, that pause from the last round may prove to be valuable for Fate if they can make this round work, but Sobel's going to shut it down already, straight into that mid position. 2 players fall into a 5 versus 3, and just... I don't even know why Fate lost that. Like, did they fire a flashbang and they missed it? Did they not fire a flashbang at all? Like, his opponents were completely, you know, within vision. And barely even any damage done to Sobel on the knees.
Yeah, no, that really needed to get traded out from mid, back into a 4-on-4, and it just wasn't the case at all. Fate, again, in this man disadvantage. Now, at least... they are going to be able to try and regroup together and hit this B bomb site. Patrick's actually pushed up very far aggressively. And really, there's only a single player at this side defensive. There can be a quick rotation to come out from Sobel, though.
Han on towards Goofy. Position here towards Quad Molotov. He'll be seen. Smoke down. Patrick will make his way up. Smoke down from Sober as well. Going to try and support him, seeing where that bomb is. Goofy taking damage, 37 HP, but Sober moves in. Sees one player on site, barely connects that spray together to get the kill. And sprays back from the AK. Will catch Goofy off guard. Incendiary's up. Mars going to get forced back. Han will get one kill. Mar takes out his own teammate. And that will be enough to secure PACT on the 14th.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.
Oh, you hate to see that, but like they couldn't deal with Sobel on the side, or like they couldn't deal with the quad player at all. It's just, man. Faye, I'm honestly so surprised that they're struggling on this T side.
Mate, if I'm Bibby right now, I'm just saying, listen, mate, like, this is not acceptable. Like, there's a lot of chaos right now in that Fate camp, and they're just not able to capitalize on it, even making basic mistakes like TKs. And now the pace has changed. Now Fate are on the offensive. Now they're getting a man advantage of 4 versus 2. And it only took them losing the lead in damn near map point to turn it back on to the T side. The B side has been secured. The plant should be planted from here. Venice and Darko probably left to save their weapons, I'd say.
I mean, even with the money line so great, probably looking for extra kills is pretty beneficial, especially with the economy line being pretty low for the T side, and that's why we're seeing Minity staying around for quite some time. Patrick does go down, so at least 2 players fall for the Fate side, but should be a pretty easy clean-up. Blocker chiming into the action, and, well, a bit of aggression actually comes out to start things off with Patrick being able to find 3 fantastic opening kills around that B side of the map, and, well, Fate, they're able to get to double digits, they're able to pick up another T round, but now they have to face off against the double AWP setup for the first time, and look at the odd shift.
I mean, when you're winning as many rounds as you are, PACT and making basic mistakes like TK, you'll be understandable, I think, if you LOOT.BET. AWP and Fahan will try to take contact out here towards the ramp position. Double up set up for Maniz and Goofy, of course, set here for the CT camp. Aggressive into the mid position, passive on towards the A site here. The T's are Fate. And they're way on. Slowly but surely, Fate will creep up and stab for the A site here.
It is pretty passive at the moment, coming out for the CTs on the A bomb side. Pretty deep into the site. There is only 2 players there, at least. And Fate, they haven't given away too much information. They've only used quite a little bit of light utility out towards this ramp phase. No over-rotations come out yet from the CT side.
Flashes in, aka Patrick keeping his eyes on top of White. Back over to the alley entrance. Flashes and utility to try to keep them all at bay for this CT camp. Further smokes up, should secure a bomb plant from here. Mars going for a pretty open plant as well. Look at all the utility coming in, the nade stack in particular, and the raining bullets all coming in across the entire board. But for the most part, Fate get away unscathed. And a 5 versus 4 scenario for PACT to go for a retake here.
Oh, man, this is going to be a pretty difficult round coming out from PACT. They need to make sure that they're getting this entry on. They do have a lot of kits to work with, so they certainly got time. They need to try and find some of these opening kills, and Mar on the side just being such a nuisance, being able to follow up, and, well, this should be another round going the way of the Fate side. I say that. Darko's now turned it into 1 versus 2, but he can't find any more than that. A very good round from Fate, and we saw Patrick, he's able to open it up on a 5-on-4, and for PACT, they really slowed that retake down.
They did. I mean, it looked like it might have been a retake in from Darko in that 1 versus 2. He got himself 2 picks for a 4K all in all, and that would have been fantastic if he was able to do that, but no. Another round for the T-side camp, and Fate will stay in it for the moment. Small moments respite, it seems like, from one of these 2 teams. Probably a tactical pause, I'd say, for the CT side of PACT, and there's a pause definitely for certain. Starting a buy strategy here, and he's going to go with the AWP here, and a force back on that CT camp. Fate could be in with a chance to bring us back to evens or close thereabouts. A big, big round again for this T side to find. Their comeback is most certainly on, I feel.
It's certainly... They've turned a little bit of a switch here for Fate. They're playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, is really what we need to see from them. And Patrick, I'm looking at him. One of the newest members to this lineup. This is actually his first professional team. And, well, he's been really impressive these last few rounds in finding a lot of opening kills, a lot of entries. A bit of aggression coming out for the CT side. We're seeing Sobel pushing quite aggressive out towards the B stairs. Oh, he finds the opening kill, but it gets traded almost immediately.
4-on-4 situation. T's pressed away. AWP firing on Nikki. Flashbang at Bay, and the AWP in the knees, seeing one, but unable to connect it. He nade back on site, but unable to do any damage again. The T's wanted to back off, losing that opening, and the trades back to a 4-on-4 at least. Keep things under control, but when the execution comes in, all hell's going to break loose.
They're now grouping up at the B bomb site. There's really only a single defender here. So honestly, if this B anchor goes down, this could be a pretty much instant save from PACT because they don't have a lot of economy to work with, and that's Goofy God. This has to be a save attempt. There's no way PACT go for the retake.
Lunatic is on site as the first responder. Molotov against his name, and Dale will back off towards CT spawn. There's a second CT on the way back in from the mid position. But it's not going to extend much further than mid area. Spray through that small gap will connect towards Nikki, and Marl take some damage as well. But still the 3-on-2, and PACT are just opting not to go for this. They'll just sit back passively and wait.
Yeah, this is a smart call. Really smart. You go for it, and it's like, okay, yeah, maybe we get 15 rounds, but think of the consequences. You go for that retake, and you lose all your players. Especially with the fact that the economy is not great. This way, with 3 players staying alive, at least Darko can drop a rifle. Maniz and Lunatic can at least drop something. Fate, 2 rounds now of being able to tie us up at 14-14. Do they drop an AWP out? Maybe run the double AWP setup. They do.
They do.
Yeah.
All right. It's maybe about to get interesting. PACT.
Jeez. Look at the utility damage. For like everyone, not even just Goofy. I mean, Goofy's is massive, but it's actually really cool to see. And I suppose, I mean, we saw these HEs out towards the post plants at the A bomb site, how much damage that's done.
Look at Darko straight in towards this this ramp control. Taking out Patrick to start, and well, no need of utility for that opening kill. PACT are going to need that kind of a start in this one as well. The double AWP setup coming in. The knees going to catch off hard at the top of the smoke. A big, big frag to find. 5-on-3 situation. And again, as you mentioned, this double AWP setup needs to come up to fruition. It will be able to do the damage here for the first couple of picks.
Man, look, that's a great start coming out from PACT. Now, we've seen, especially in these mid-rounds when they lose man advantages, they are not checking this sandbag's position. And Darko's trying to establish a crossfire with the AWP on the site. Do they check it out? They do. Molotovs goes down. They should be able to trade him. Can they bring a third player over to A? Oh, the HEs, they deal with it. At least they bring back a disadvantage into a 3-on-4.
Yeah, Darko not allowed to do anything from his position there. The first kill of the M4 will be the only kill he finds. AWP for Maniz already found himself one good pick back. Seeing one at the edge of the smoke, catches Mar as well. Drops that bomb in the open, in CT control. 37 seconds, and Blocker will find one good AWP pick in the back lines. Nikki needs to get towards that site as the smoke starts to clear. The CTs will have lines in. And no more utility left. One smoke for Blocker. Maybe enough to cross over towards that bomb's position and take it back from the CT forces. But Lunatic takes out his backup in Nikki. So AK, all that remains here for the T side. He's going to try and isolate a pick, but they're going to play passively until he's forced to get the bomb plant in. 10 seconds. Lunatic seen, taken out. Second kill not going to be allowed here. Blocker going to fake it once, try and force the player to make his way out. But time's now done. And PACT will be on map point.
And there we go. Finally, we're going to see PACT get to that 15th. And, well, it starts off with some great opening picks. Obviously, the AWP and the Rifle of Darko working together to get that 5-on-3. And for Fate, once they were in a disadvantage like that, they really couldn't come back. Yes, we saw a couple of nice trade kills here and there, but it's just too difficult of a situation to bring it back in your favor. Now, PACT. One more round is all they will need. 3 in a row for Fate if they want to try and take this map to OT. Ooh, this is quick.
Oh yeah, Fate are going to put everything behind this execution in this default. Nades up. Look at how close Nicky is to the CT forces. They know where Darko is. Dink down on blocker though. That's going to do some pretty significant damage. M4 spray from Darko, better catch something off guard. They'll do just tags on, but no frags very early on for either side.
Oh, look at the stack. There's 4 players here from PACT. They have got such a great read, but Patrick's going to be able to open up with 2 kills. Can he follow up with any more? Sobel with the trade.
Now the AKs and the AWP are all that remains. Sobel pushed up at the midst of the smoke. Nicky knows that he's there somewhere. All just down to information game. He's going to back off and concede that part of the map. He was going to get a lot of information here. Sobel's going to hear those footsteps. You're right, yeah, Mars pushed all the way up towards CT spawn. The T's will make their way on towards B. A free plant can come through. He can cut off rotations. He can win this round on his own. And Goofy may offer up the frag. His back's turned. AK on, going for the knife kill at this stage. Mar gets not quite 3, but he does get 2 for his name and plenty of money for it. A 1 on 3 left for Sobel. But honestly, unnecessary risks in my opinion with that knife.
Why? Like, come on, guys. Like, just kill him, please. Oh, my goodness. That could have gone so wrong. That really could have gone so wrong. But, look, a little bit of BM may try and affect PACT mentally, but that's a great round. And what they do there, Jay, is a lot of the time in these ramp commitments, we've not seen Alert come out. They put so much presence out towards ramp that they rotate off of B completely. And Ma, he's got a free bomb site. He calls the rotation in, pushes in through CT. An excellent, excellent round from Fate.
Two more to the overtime. USP eco round coming through from PACT. The stack in towards ramp where Fate are playing passive once again, as these T sides have done when they realize there might be a risk from the pistol turnaround. Mar will maybe be the only casualty here for the T side. He's going to hang around here towards that ramp position, do quite a fair amount of damage, get a kill for his trouble. The AK here, Patrick sprays through, does get taken down. They should know now that the rest of the T side, CT side players are out here, so just get that bomb in towards that B side, secure the plant and secure the round.
I'll tell you what, that's actually a pretty good round from PACT. They're at least able to recover 1 AK. I'm not sure. Okay, they do pick up the second one. I wasn't sure if it sort of dropped down off the edge there. So for PACT, considering, well, they didn't really have anything to work with, that's 2 kills and 2 AKs. And going into the last round, round number 30. I'm just trying to think, like, for PACT, do they go off the back of aggression? I mean, whenever they've gone through aggression plays, especially around that ramp control, they've been able to find opening picks.
I think that... Oh, hold on. Another good kill for Lunatic. I think that, honestly, maybe some of that aggression may be worth it in certain cases. Like, you know, obviously don't go for full-on... don't go for full-blown stacks in towards that ramp position, but try and find that opening kill, because once you do, you fall back, and Fate just don't really know how to play from that. I think that probably could be a key weakness of both of these T sides here. It's sort of like when you lose that opening pick, neither team were able to play their way out of it. So I'm thinking that maybe that might be the best thing for PACT to do, just aggress a little bit, not too much, go for the kill, fall back off the back of that, and try to find a new way to work inland here. The AWPs and the AKs coming in, the M4's back out. The AK for Lunatic will be the main weapon for PACT. The AWP and Minis will strike first, taking out Blocker for 1. And Han, keeping his eyes onto that ramp position, will try find a trade across the map.
Oh, that's one of the first times I've actually seen pretty heavy aggression out through mid, but it's traded right back. Now, one thing to keep an eye on, Jay, they've only got a single kit for Minis on this CT side. And at the moment, they're only playing a single solo player at this B bomb side of Goofy, and he's going to have to deal with a lot of T-side presence, and they traded out. This could be overtime coming out from Fate. They've got the man, they should be able to get the bomb plan.
Lunatic with the AK, making his way in. They're going to hear that damage coming in from the Molotov. Damage done to Mar as well. Harm will take a nade and a kill against his name. Lunatic to a 3-on-3. Patrick sneaking in the back lines though. Mar and Nikki just have to hold on back here. Passive to the B stairs. Molotov's on site. Smoke's coming in. Patrick gonna slowly make his way up. You can see how close he is. The lineups just need to come through. They're gonna stick the bomb. They're gonna stick the bomb. Pact are gonna get away with it. Someone's gonna get his kill now. Oh no! Fate! Moments away from keeping alive, but PACT will secure the map with a ninja defuse. And as we go to a break, Dust 2 will be our second of the series. Don't go anywhere.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.